When you make a sukkah, there's a muvucha v'achroinim. To make a sukkah, you have to have 4 walls, right? You can have 4 walls. But we also know you can have 3 walls, which consist of 2 and a tefach. So you have 2 walls, 1, 2. And then you can have a tefach over here, tefach here, which is lowered to here. So it's 1 tefach is 3 inches, and it's lowered to that, 4 inches, and it's lowered to that wall, which is 3 tefachim away. So altogether you have a wall of 4 tefachim. So that makes it a 3rd wall. That's kosher minat Torah. There's a question. There are other ways you could have 3 walls. You could have 2 walls. The foolish halacha says if you have 2 walls opposite each other, you either need 2 walls da'arevan, go like this. 2 walls da'arevan are attached like this, and then the 3rd tefach is over here. That will be a kosher sukkah. Or if you have 2 walls that are foolish, which is like this, opposite each other, then you need a pas daled, you need a 4 tefachim piece of wood to be put over here to make it for a 3rd wall. But then these are ways you can have 3 wall sukkahs and they're kosher. It's halacha and Shulchan Aruch, Tefresh Lamed. Halacha here. Shtayim zu etzuzukim in gam, that's called a raven. So then you make a tefach and you put it a little way. If it's shtei defon foolish, if it's set up like this, so then you make a doifen shishbech harav and you make a 4 tefachim mashu, and you put the 4 tefachim a little bit away from the wall. So now you have a 7 tefachim wall. That makes like a 7 tefachim wall, because you're supposed to have 2 walls that are like da'arevan, that are attached to each other. So either you have 2 walls before, you put a 4 tefachim pass, and with love next to it, and that gives you 2 walls, and then you have a 3rd wall. So you have to have 3 walls in a sukkah. The question is, which we discussed the other day, the question is, could you use a sukkah made out of lavud? That means like this, which is very common today. I got a lot of shilas like this year. You have on your deck, you have a fence around, sticks going up, or fence around your deck. So they want to use it as their wall. It's tall enough. Let's assume it's tall enough. It's 40 inches. It's like this. If you have a mechitza that's 10 tefachim high, it doesn't have to reach the schach. You can put schach up here as long as you have a wall that's 10 tefachim high. So then you have your schach up here and you have a good sukkah. So the question is, so you have a fence around your deck. Beautiful. All I have to do is put 4 posts on top and make schach. Maybe I have a nice sukkah. Maybe I have a nice sukkah. So the question is, these walls are not really solid walls. They're sticks going up. The sticks going up within 3 tefachim from each other, with spaces in between. And then we use what we call of lavud to attach them. Is that good to make a sukkah?
What do we use to attach it?
You have sticks, right? You have sticks coming up. Like
right.
Your gate around, your fence around.
Right.
But there's space in between.
And what do you use to fill the space?
So it's called lavud. Anything that's 3 tefachim away, less than 3 tefachim away, is like it's attached.
Right, okay.
Lavud means space?
Lavud means we extend the wall.
You considered it to be attached.
Consider it to be attached.
Because the space is narrow enough.
Yeah. So the question is, could I do that? It's the Scheiner. So there seems to be a big mavucha. It's based on a Tosfos and Chulin. Tosfos and Chulin has a question, poses a question. I'm sorry, not Tosfos and Chulin. We're going to Chulin now. Tosfos Sukkah. Tosfos Sukkah of Tezvav poses a question. Why do I have to make? Well, we said if you have a mavavi foolish like this, I put a pas daled here, 3 tefachim away, and that makes my 7 tefachim wall. Why do I need a pas daled, a 4 tefachim? Just take 1 stick and put another stick. Make 2 sticks, each loved within each other, and I have my 4th wall. That's Tosfos' question. So Tosfos says, we're going to go into the details here, but that's Tosfos' question. So it seems Tosfos gives an answer, which is Machloikas had to learn up Tosfos' answer. Tosfos gives an answer this is called the mechitza of Shesi. Shesi means this way. Shesi is vertical. And Erev is horizontal. That's why our Erev is called Erev. We put the Erev strings on around.
Right.
Horizontal. It's one reason it's called Erev. It's also Ma'ariv. It's Erev. But Erev is a horizontal string. So there's a mechitza that could be Erev. You have sticks coming up. That's Shesi, I mean. Or you can have a mechitza of Erev. You make ropes going this way. Within 3 tvachim of each other, and I can make a wall. But some of the canvas sukkahs, because the walls move around, so they have these straps you strap on. And that's called the mechitza of Erev, because you have straps going this way, within 3 tvachim, that makes your wall. They do that. So Taisa says it's shvach. It's not a very geschmack mechitza.
Does he say why?
It says because the Gemara by Erevin says that if it's more Yosef the base of Sayim, it's not going to be matter. See, it's not a good mechitza. Because buy from there.
By Arab, it's also good.
Yeah, you see by Shiara, it's a machlokes of Yunim Rabbanim. Makes a machlokes of Yunim Rabbanim if it's a good mechitza. If it's a mechitza shesi or mechitza shalerev, if it's a good mechitza. And therefore, he says it's totally on that machlokes, as a Steve in the Gemara and 2 Gemaras, totally that machlokes would be whether you could use a wall which is water from Lavid. Yeah.
Is mechitza talking about things other than like separation between a man and a woman? Like that wall we have in between?
Now we're talking about anything that you need a wall to be matter. For a sukkah or for an Erev, you need a wall around.
Right.
That's what I'm
that's what mechitza is separation?
Yeah. Mechitza is a wall.
Needs a wall.
Needs a wall.
Uh-huh.
So that's the question. So Taisa says it doesn't work possibly, but Shalzu is Masha comes out the Maskana it does work because it's a machlokes of Yehuda and Rabban, and we'll pass it. It depends how we'll pass it. Maybe we'll pass it. It does work. The Mogen Avram goes to town here against the Masha. He has questions, and the Mogen Avram learns the Maskana that Taisa says, which is difficult to read it into Taisa, but learns Maskana that Taisa says depends if I have 4 walls or 3 walls. If I have a 4-wall sukkah, no problem. I can use Lavid. I can use Lavid if I have a 4-wall sukkah. But if I have a 3-wall sukkah, if I'm using 3 walls, then there's a halacha b'Sinai of shtayim kil chasan, shlishas afilu tefach, that you need 2 complete walls and 1 wall of tefach. Or you need 2 walls like this and 1 pastel, but I can't use Lavid for those walls. So I can't make my walls out of sticks going that, which have to be attached. I can't do that. I need 2 walls. If I'm making a 4-wall sukkah that's completely surrounded, okay, then I can use it. I have my gate going all the way around.
You're surrounded means that's besides the door.
Beside the door, yeah.
So you got 4 walls.
Yeah, because that's a wall. Sayin Tvachim is a wall, yeah.
So there's no requirement if it's 4 walls for the walls to be as complete as if you had 2 walls.
2 walls, that's right. 2 walls
they're
and
more
a
solid.
That's how the Mogen Avram learns. Based on this, the Mishnah Pataka Pasim brings us down as Mogen Avram. And if you have a 4-wall sukkah, it happened last night, a guy came here, he only made half his deck. He only made half his deck covered, so very, very big deck. So he only goes half it. So he has his house, that's 1 wall. Then he has a gate here, and he has another gate here. Not a gate, it's
3 walls, so he has 3 real walls.
He has only 2 walls. 1 wall, 1 real wall, and 2 Lavid walls.
What's the problem?
And, so that will be a problem according to Mishnah Berurah. Now there is a tzad heter that since the gates are made, I'm going to describe it. Here's another pen there. The gates are made with things, and then there's one thing that goes on top. There's a railing across on top. So it could be that'll make it shesi ve'erev. That'll make that you have the wall will consist of not just shesi, not just erev, but both shesi and erev. And that will make it kosher. So those that hold that's enough. I'm not sure what the shear is to make it shesi and erev. If you put another few things across, that will definitely work. But if you just have the things and you have just a railing on top, it's a question of that's enough to make it considered a wall.
So those houses that have those fences that just chassis and an Arab on top.
Yeah, the question is
might
that
not be
enough?
considered a real wall.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he's doing that. Maybe that is enough. But I'm certain on that. How you look at that? If you have just chassis,
That it's good enough?
he brings down the carp.
That's
Carp. He's a Talmud.
says it's okay.
Yeah.
He argues.
I don't know. Sounds to me like it was triple the chiddush.
I mean, that's how it works with an Arab. You have a Tzur Pesach.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tzur Pesach
So that's the issue. That's the issue on these mechitzas. Now, there's a goyin. There's a question how to learn this goyin. Could be the goyin is learning like the. Here, give me the pen back. Sorry. Could be the goyin is learning like the Magen Avram, or it could be he's learning a little more that even in a full wall mechitza, the two walls and a tefach have to be not loved. In other words, it's not enough. Even if you do, there's no difference between a full wall sukkah or a 3-wall sukkah. The difference is 3 out of the 4 walls have to have 2 good ones and 1 tefach. The guy, I'm not sure. It's not clear how he's learning. It seems that if he's learning exactly like the Magen Avram, yeah, that's how Rabbi David used to learn it, because he learned. I told you about his sukkah. His sukkah was made with a space in between, so he wanted to cover up that space. It shouldn't be loved, even though he had a 4-wall sukkah, because 3 out of the 4 walls, the Shtaim called the Halachas Moshe. See, the problem is like this. What does the Halachas Moshe Messina tell me? 2 walls and a third of tefach. So the tefach is just also loved. So just make everything loved. So it's mashma from the Halachas Moshe Messina that you need 2 good walls and 1 tefach there. So he goes, even if you have a 4-wall one, it could be you need to make that 2 walls are good, and the third one, a tefach, would be good. Now there was an eitzah, a simple eitzah, which I told the guy to do last night. It's a simple eitzah to fix up the problem, which is to, if you have your patio here, right, just to buy a piece of wood that's zayin tvachim, that's 28 inches or 30 inches long, 30 inches by 40 inches tall, that's a good machitza. 2 boards like that, and put it in the corner. Well, he has a house, so he just needs 1. So then you have shtayim da'reivim, and you have 2 walls that are attached. A sukkah just has to be zayin tvachim by zayin tvachim. So if you have 2 boards that are 7 tvachim by 7 tvachim, which is 30 inches by 30 inches, 40 inches high, 10 tvachim high, so then you have a good sukkah. Then you just have to have a tefach at the end, which usually you have. Sometimes the slats themselves are a tefach, or if not, you have 2 posts over here, which could be a tefach. So then you'll have Ishtayim Kol Chosim, which is tefach. So if you do have such a porch, it's kedai to make a board, attach a board at the corners, just so you have Ishtayim Da'revim. And then it's good if you put a third one here at 7 tvachim. You put a few boards up. There's not such an investment, not so much time and work, and you have a sukkah that's kosher. It doesn't have to be attached, because you have loved which attaches it. Loved for sure could attach it. Loved for sure could attach it. The question is just 2 walls and a tefach. That's what they bring down. Loved could attach the walls. You just need to have 2 walls and a tefach, and that's a simple eitzah to fix up this problem.
If a person puts a tarp, let's say you have the 3 walls, right? And they're all this way, right? I'm going up and down. A person puts a tarp either inside or outside and pulls it very tight so it doesn't blow. Does that solve the problem as well?
That'll solve the problem, because the tarp is a wall. Even though we're machmer, l'chatchila, not to use a tarp because it could get loosened up and blow, but the Mishnah Berurah says that if it's tight, if it's very tight, since it's only a chashash that it's going to loosen up, if you have loved walls, that's good. The Mishnah Berurah brings it down. The head in this case, what you're talking. So then you could use. That's why they made the straps on these canvas sukkahs. Even though that's loved, it shouldn't work. But the answer is, since you have mechitzas anyways, you have the canvas mechitzas on. If it's tight, that's not going to blow. It's tight. You just choishish that maybe to loosen up. So the Mishnah Berurah says for that chashash, it's enough if you have the. It's enough if you have the.
Doesn't matter whether the canvas is inside or outside.
No, as long as it's tight. The truth is, if you have the walls, it's very easy to make it tight, at least on the bottom.
Yeah.
You get it attached to the bottom part, so even if the top moves,
you pull
the bottom
will
be. Yeah. That would be that. Yeah, that's another thing you could do. Right. Another thing to be aware of is if you have such a sukkah, I'm going to have to go soon, but another thing to be aware of is that if you have a sukkah that's only a wall around this way, and like your railing, but then you have a space to the schach should be on top of the shouldn't be pulled in. It should be on top of the wall. But if it's pulled in, you have a shaila of trei hilchases. In other words, the walls have to reach the schach. That's the halacha. The walls have to reach the schach. But here my wall is only down here, my schach is up here. So we say good asik, the wall goes up. It's an imaginary wall that goes up, good asik, it goes up. So if it goes up, so if I have a fully built wall all the way up and my schach is a little bit in, that's fine, because we say love it attaches the wall to the schach. Love it could attach with some 3 tvachim. But if my wall is down here, I have to go zip up like this, plus say love it, that's trei hilchases, that's a shaila if we say it's a machlokes the Ran and the Tur.
Too much imagination.
Yeah. That's a shaila. So if you're going to have such a sukkah which doesn't have the walls going all the way up, you should make sure to have your schach pull all the way over beyond the wall.
What does it mean when it says that the walls have to reach the schach, and we say only in your imagination it has to reach the schach? It doesn't physically have to do it.
Because that's a halacha l'Moshe Messina. It's good asik. It's the wall. Halachically, it's considered the wall goes up.
Okay.
What if the walls go higher? That the roof overhang, and then you have the
we discussed that. Yeah.
So would you say?
So say chavet rami. You have a wall overhang, and you have an overhang of your house, and you're making a sukkah down here.
Right, there's no schach under it.
There's no schach under it.
Right,
The schach starts over here.
So it starts 2 feet after the wall.
Yes, your schach starts here and goes like this. There's your schach, right? There's your schach. So now, where's your wall? If you need this wall, if you have 3 other walls, you're okay. But if you need this wall, so you have to say doifen akuma, then you have to say chavet rami, pull it down, and that's if it hits the schach. If the schach is pulled over a little bit, you would have to say doifen akuma, chavet rami, and loved.
Right.
In the Shavuot is mashma, you could say it. In the Shavuot is clearly mashma, you could say it. What?
You could say that.
I'll show you in the Shavuot is mashma, you could say it. But other poskim achayil can hold that. So it's just 2 or 3 hilchos. It's the Scheiner brings down a machlokes about it. Well, you can be samech on that because you have to have. So the best thing is to do in such a case also, when you have overhang, is to pull your mechitza, your schach all the way to the wall. So even though this is possible underneath here, but you could say doifen akuma or board anything.
Yeah, just
to attach it to the wall, so you could say doifen akuma here instead of saying doifen akuma up here, making chavet lami. Shmuel's mashra it's kosher.
Yeah.
Shmuel's mashra is kosher, but
the sukkah is kosher, but underneath that area
no, you
shouldn't
can't
sit.
sit underneath.
The second night is sukkah, and it's raining.
You don't have to wait.
You say, I'm saying, if you want to go, you say Elisha the sukkah inside the sukkah and you have zayis, or you don't need to?
The first night we don't say Elisha Basik.
First night you jump?
It's machlokes. More brings out the machlokes.
Because the elder brought down that you do say Elisha the sukkah.
If it's raining?
Yeah, he says it from the Ramah. The Ramah says you make Elisha the sukkah and you need zayis.
Yeah, but it's a machlokes. The others hold that even the first night it's potter when it's raining. So it's machlokes with Scheiner, so we don't make a bracha the first night. What you could do is, I was saying before, is if you have a shlak and you leave the shlak on the sukkah, then you remove it right before Kiddush. It's not dripping in yet, and you can make Elisha.
The second night, you're supposed to do zayis the second night, the same stuff.
Yeah, but you don't have to. No, second night you don't
First
have
night you
to.
should go in, don't sit without a bracha.
Yeah.
You make a zayis. And the second night, you should also do the same thing.
Second night you don't have to wait at all. So,
Interesting. Chabad says a bracha all 7 days, even if it's raining.
yeah, I don't know where they get that from.
You get it from the Rebbe.
Yeah. The Mishnah says raining is potter.
Yeah. The word is you don't have to siren the sukkah even when it's raining because shmak is and stuff.
Yeah. The guy holds on Peter Chuvas of Ashford that it's a apostle sukkah. So it's not a sukkah. Just a chiddush.
Where does it come that on the first night, no matter what you sit in the sukkah meet? It comes from.
Yeah, it comes from the Ramah because the Ramah says it's the first night is a kiyah, and even if there's sar, even if there's pain, you still have to eat the kazayas. So according to the Ramah, you actually say a bracha on the first night.
But then you can leave the sukkah after you've eaten the kazayas.
Right, so after you finish the kazayas, then you go inside the house.
But the Chabad minhag is not to.
No, we don't. That comes from the Rebbeim. They would eat eat because they enjoyed it. Even if they're training, they're eating the sukkah, they take the ratio of the sukkah all the days.
Well, Shliya Mekadosh
Through the
basic Zmal Yom Tov.
On the first day, like, no matter what, you just sit.
Yeah, they sit anyway.
The second night, the Mishabur says you make Kiddush in the house, you eat in the house, and at the end of the Suda you eat a kazayis in the sukkah. Because the first night you need a shachyon, the second night you already have it, you don't need it. First night you need a shachyon.
That's not for the sukkah.
Yeah, it's after the sukkah.
First time you make a kiddush on the side of the sukkah.
Yeah, if you eat afterwards in the sukkah, you have to eat a kabeh. If you make Kiddush, you can eat kazayis. But if you're eating afterwards, you need a kabeh.